Danielle Kelly, thank you so much for joining me on Flop Culture. How are you doing?
Good, thanks for having me, Fionnuala. If you told me 2 weeks ago I'd be on a podcast talking about Taylor Swift, I would not have believed you, but here we are.
Stranger things have happened. You are going to be talking about Taylor Swift, but you're kind of talking about something more broadly that I am not an expert in, and hence why I drafted you in for your big brain and skills and knowledge in this area. We are talking about Taylor Swift, but she has been very prominent within the NFL over the last few weeks because of her rumoured potential relationship with a man named Travis Kelce. She's turning up to all the games, suddenly seems to be a big American football fan. So what's going on? I suppose, first of all, who the hell is Travis Kelce? Because everyone knows who Taylor Swift is. No offense, Travis.
Okay, so Travis Kelce, before any of this happened, was probably one of the more famous players in the NFL. So she isn't dealing with any run-of-the-mill player that no one really has heard of. Kelce would be he's definitely one of the best players in his position. So his position is, he's called a tight end. So basically he would be one of the better attacking players in the team. He plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, who are the reigning Super Bowl champions. He's a 2-time Super Bowl winner. He's the co-host of probably one of the top American sports podcasts called New Heights with his brother. His brother plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, which is coincidentally the team Taylor Swift currently supports. And he's just one of the more famous players in the NFL. He hosted Saturday Night Live, I think last February or March, after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl for a second time. So taking Taylor Swift out of the equation, he's probably one of the more famous players in the NFL, but this has brought everything onto a new stratosphere.
I had talked on the main podcast about kind of, what had led up to this relationship. I think Travis was kind of breadcrumbing it for a very long time in terms of, and again, people can interpret this different ways, whether he was like actively doing it, whether he was having a laugh. He'd mentioned Taylor and he went to the Eras tour specifically and had this whole friendship bracelet with his number on it to give to her, but didn't get to see her. And he talks about it on that podcast that you mentioned. He's been kind of going on about this. And then sure, lo and behold, he's actively heavily hinting. Lo and behold, she turns up at one of the bloody games. Pandemonium ensues because not only is she at one of these games, she sat with his mom. Some people take this as confirmation that they're together. But can you describe, I suppose, that first game? Who was playing? Was it a significant game? Have we seen kind of any impact from her appearance there? Because I've seen it within pop culture, obviously, and she's such a famous person and she's so heavily scrutinised, especially when it comes to her relationships. But the NFL was benefiting from this appearance a lot as well.
Yeah, so the NFL has benefited massively from it. So there's two ways of looking at it. I suppose I'll speak about the second game in a minute. But a lot of people are saying this is great for the NFL, and a lot of people are seeing this as Taylor Swift overload. And they're like, we just want to watch the football. We don't want to see the woman in the stands cheering for a touchdown. So current situation in the NFL is it's a 18-week season. Every team plays 17 games, so they've 1 week off. We've only played 5 rounds of matches so far. So we're still very much in the early stages of the league. She was at her first game in Arrowhead Stadium, which is the Kansas City Chiefs' home stadium. She was there 2 weeks ago, and it was a run-of-the-mill league game, nothing important about it, and that's sort of where everything blew up. It was sort of the first official sighting of the two of them together. There was a reporter in Bell's Stadium afterwards who took a very famous video of the two of them walking almost hand in hand, but not fully hand in hand after the game. So this was the first time we'd seen the two of them together. And then last week, she was at a game in New York against the New York Jets. So it was Monday Night Football, primetime on American TV. And she was there. I think Ryan Reynolds was with her, a few other people. And that's sort of where it blew up even more so, because her first game where she was at it with Donna Kelce, Travis's mother, who's probably she's by far the most famous parent in the NFL. If there is a such thing, last year, her two sons played against each other in the Super Bowl. And she sort of became a quasi-celebrity off the back, but she even got her own endorsement deal with Bud Light for a few weeks on it. So she was with Donna at the first game. Then at the second game in New York, she was there with, as I said, Ryan Reynolds and a few people like that. And that's where it took off. There was like sports blogs saying we're saying too much for her. There was people counting how many times she was shown on the TV. And it basically got to the point where like we're getting too much hair at Taylor Swift for shows the football. It's great that she's here. It's great that there's other celebrities here. But you need to calm down about it. And even went as far as last week on the New Heights podcast, Travis Kelce said as much. I don't think he was trying to protect her, girlfriend, partner, friend, whatever it is, I don't know. But he was just saying that we're seeing too much of celebrities this year at these matches. calm it down a bit. But as I'm sure we're going to talk about in a sec, the NFL are riding on the crest of a Taylor Swift wave. Like, viewership numbers are up. Overall matches, there is a lot. I think that game I mentioned against the Jets, I think had 2 million more female viewers than average. So the NFL are definitely riding on the wave here of Taylor Swift.